but it's not that bad. Thank you for the introduction, I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate everyone else being here today. One of my favorite quotes of all time is by a man you may have heard of, Thomas Edison. He said that when working on the light bulb, he hadn't failed 10,000 times. He had just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. In that one quote, I have always found the difference between a winning attitude and a quitting attitude. If you can learn from failures and even find them positive in some ways, you will always be ahead of the curve. At age 6, my mother and I and both of my older sisters migrated to the United States. Only child, the only boy, the youngest one, the black sheep of the family, of course. At age 10, I got heavily involved with negative people. This was because dad wasn't around. Mom had 2 jobs at times. I can recall her having 3 jobs. And I kind of grew up on my own, you know, being the only boy. I didn't want to listen to my sisters. I didn't want to listen to anyone. I just thought that I like being with girls. They didn't understand me. So I took onto the streets. At age 12, I had numerous encounters with the police. I was out of control. I was breaking things. I was breaking windows, stealing cars. I was out of control. At age 14, I was already dealing with drugs. I was dealing with drugs, guns. I was an active gang member, and my life was just not there. I can recall one time, and I've never shared this. I can recall one time when my mother asked me to change my ways as she was crying. And I was so deep into my colors, into my gang, that I grabbed a knife, and if it wasn't because of my sister, I would have stabbed her. And it's something that I still carry on with until this day, just because of where I was at back then, where my mentality was. I was careless. I started selling drugs at age 14. I started smoking weed at age 14. At age 15, I was committed to the Department of Youth Services. While I was in juvenile prison, I became worse. I believe that anger that I was holding inside just exploded and exploded in all the negative ways. And in doing so, it just created more drama, more problems for me. At the age of 16, I had already 11 juvenile charges. Ranging from car theft to stabbing to actively being an active shooter in the city. At the age of 18, I was doing good for myself. I wanted to change my life around. At the age of 19, I asked for help. I wanted to, since I was already a college dropout, a high school dropout, I wanted help, I needed help. I wanted to get my GED. And when I went to get help, pretty much the doors were closed on me. The Operation Bootstrap didn't have the funds to basically teach me to save me a seat. No funds were available, and the waiting list was about 6 months to a year and 6 months. That's when I thought to myself, you know, I come here and I come here to get some help because I want to get educated, and the system is not trying to help me. It's, you know, I need the help. I want to get the GED. I want to change my life around because of all those things that I was doing when I was younger. And because of that, I pretty much became more angry. I became an angry person, and I just took back onto the streets. At age 19, right after the doors were closed on me, which is pretty much how I always put it, I went hardcore onto the streets and came out of the newspaper for several shootings. I didn't care at that point, you know, because no one cared about me, or so that I thought. At age 19, I was drug trafficking. I was charged for drug trafficking. Age 19 was the most challenging phase of my life. it was a point in my life where I didn't know how much longer I had to live. I've always said that by the age of 21, I was going to be dead. And so I was rushing through things. I wanted to have kids right away because I knew that at age 21, I wasn't going to make it. And so I pretty much did everything wrong that you can think of. I also, at 19, I also did wish that the GED Center had a work program to keep me busy while I was waiting to get a seat for my GED in order for me to obtain my GED. That didn't happen. Throughout my 20s, I tried to do the right thing again. I focused on work. By the age of 23, I decided to retry and get a GED. I was lucky that a vacancy had come up. I got a call from Operation Bootstrap where they had told me that they had a vacancy if I wanted to take it. I immediately said yes. Unfortunately, mistakes from my past came back to haunt me, and about 11 months later, after I had passed my first 2 GED tests, I was incarcerated for those mistakes that I had made when I was 19 years old. When I landed in jail, I had choices, I had options, which was either to engage with the negative people and continue criminal activities, although I had started my GED to become a better person, but with so much negativity and such a hostility, I could easily been drawn into the negative side again, or stay away from the negativity and focus on getting my GED, on getting an education. I chose option number 2. I obtained my GED while I was incarcerated. I focused on school while I was incarcerated. I focused on how I could help myself so that I can help others while I was incarcerated. I focused on looking at obstacles and challenges as part of life. At age 24, I passed the 3 other remaining GED tests, and that's when I obtained my GED. Once I obtained my GED while incarcerated, I helped other inmates obtain their GED. I give back. And I really believe that was the most important thing for me, being able to give back, being able to sit in a prison cell, in a cell, and tutor others in order for them to have a better life. At age 25, I was released on the bracelet and entered college, North Shore Community College, Project Enable. At age 25, I became active in my community. At age 26, I assisted to the Value USA event in DC and took part in the Student Voices session where I spoke directly to Secretary Ron Duncan. I expressed to him how things would have been different had we had the funds available to help me when I was 19. I became the Secretary of Value USA, and I now promote adult education nationwide. One of the board members here today. These people here, Wes Garvin from Stan, who's also a board member for Value USA, has been a great support for me. So has Joe Thorne, who is, Joe, I keep forgetting this, the Dean Assistant for the Outreach and Local Enrollment Services at North Shore Community College, which is my college. So I am really indebted to these people because they always help me, they've coached me along the way. At age 27, which is now, I am currently enrolled at North Shore Community College in Lynn, Massachusetts. I am 2 semesters shy of graduating. I am minoring in liberal arts and I am majoring in political science. At age 27, which is now, I am an inductee and have received the National Engaged Leader Award from the National Society of Leadership and Success. I have a GPA average of 3.5. I am part of